but let's still get some reports on the ground. Let's go to the Klottey Korle constituency, where a total of 915 persons are expected to cast their ballots at the Klottey in this particular constituency in the special exercise. Already some persons say they cannot find their names on the register. And next, Kujobeno is my colleague there joining us live with some update. And as what's the situation with those not finding their names on the register?
Well, Mamavi, it's not so clear what is really happening. So far, we spoke to about 4 people, 2 of them police officers who could not find their names. Of course, they do not want to speak to us on record, but they could not find their names. The other 2 were media persons, but we'll get an official response from the presiding officer for this particular polling station. Now, here at the Osu polling station, the police station, there are 2 polling stations, A and B, and it's because of the numbers. Mama, if you recall that the Electoral Commission had placed a cap on the number of electorates they will allow at a particular polling station. And so they are actually having 2 polling stations because of the huge numbers. Let me speak to the presiding officer in charge of polling station A for some more updates on this, and then we'll get you some response to those who say they could not find their names in the register. You're welcome, sir. You're live on Joy News. Help us with the numbers here. You have 2 polling stations, and I can imagine it's because of the numbers that we have here at Klottey Korle.
Yes, I mean, basically it's because of the numbers. The numbers cost for the splits, so it's 914 in total. So the A has 458, and then that of the B has 456.
And so far, we know that some people have been here. We spoke to 2 police officers and 2 others who say they could not find their names. Do you have any explanation as to what may have been the problem?
I haven't witnessed anybody come around to say they can't find their names. Moreover, even, I mean, the security agencies submitted the officials or the officers within their unit to have them do special voting. So if an officer in a particular unit did not submit their name, basically, the person will not find their name in the special voters list. Nonetheless, also, if that particular voter is not a registered voter within the constituency, basically the person's detail cannot be captured in the Klottey constituency to cast their vote.
And Mamavi will be crossing over to the other side, to the other polling station, that's polling station B, shortly, because we did speak to 2 officers who say they could not find their names. Thank you very much, sir. But have you had the cause to turn anybody away because the person was not in a mask or failed to follow the COVID-19 protocol?
No, so far we haven't gotten anybody, I mean, coming to the center. As you can observe, all safety protocols are highly observed, and that is what the EC is standing for the 2020 general election.
And so that is the presiding officer for polling station A.
But Ernest, I want you to ask.
He is the presiding officer.
Ernest, stay with the presiding officer if you can hear me. Ernest, can you stay with him? Because I want you to ask him, what if somebody shows up and the person is not in the mask? What happens? Do they have a mask to give the person?
Very well. So let me quickly put that question to him. Mr. Boaje, if somebody shows up in without a face mask, what happens?
Like I'm saying, at the moment, we haven't gotten any yet coming into Kazia.
Should you have that case?
I mean, should you have that case, you want to approach the person, let them know that we are observing the the safety protocols that it might be, so the person should get a nose mask and just join the queue and then come cast their vote.
If the person does not have a nose mask, do you have some available for the person? Would you tell the person away? That is what we want.
Oh, certainly the commission would have some nose masks around that we want to give to voters who virtually don't have.
So you do have some nose masks around for people who do not?
Yes. I mean, as far as the special voting is concerned, we do have nose masks around for people who are not. But as we can observe, majority of the people that are coming around are security agency, and then that of some security officers, and then that of some officials that will be working with us. So I must agree that all of them that I've seen so far come cast their vote are in the nose marks and maintaining the protocols as such.
Very well. Thank you very much. So, Mama V, that's the response there. They do have some nose masks or face masks available for persons who show up without a face mask. However, as you can imagine, many of these people are security agencies, and so are more likely to follow the protocol. And so far, we've not had a situation where anybody has shown up without a face mask and has been turned away. But I was telling you, Mama V, about something interesting which is happening here. The parliamentary candidates for the governing NPP, the man who is contesting the incumbent, Senator Rollins, is actually here. I want to get closer to him and speak to him and find out, because I see him with a tally card. I don't know if he's his own candidate, but we'll speak to him briefly and get some reaction from him. Good morning, sir. You're live on Joy News.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Are you your own candidate, your own agent, I mean?
No, I am agent for President Nana Akufo-Addo.
Okay, so as far as the presidential election is concerned for the special voting, you are the candidate for His Excellency the President. The agent, yes.
The President, that is correct.
Are you going to do same on December 7th?
No, on December 7th I'll be busy with other stuff.
Okay.
She's presently my agent here.
Okay, so she is your agent?
Yes,
okay.
And on December 7th I'm going to have a couple of agents to do the work for me. But the good news is that I now have a first-hand experience what it means to be an agent. Okay. And it's work that requires a lot of diligence. And I'm enjoying it. It's giving me a different appreciation for the role of the agent in the electoral process. And I think it's worth it.
And so far, how has the process been?
Process is going very good so far. I think the process as designed is working effectively. And people come in here, wash their hands, their temperature gets taken, and then got doused with some, how we call it, sanitizers, before they come to the first table with their card, have their names checked, and that's communicated to the verifier. He also takes their biometric verification, passes them on to the lady here who's tearing the ballot papers. So you dip your little finger in the ink. She tears the paper for you, she folds it accordingly, and then stamps the back of it. And as soon as she gives it to you, you go in there, cast your ballot for the president, come back, and then the parliamentary repeats the process to you. You cast your vote for the parliamentary candidate of your choice, and then you walk out this way.
You seem to be very familiar with the process now, but I see that you have a tally card. How many people, as far as your record is concerned, have voted?
At 10:15 this morning, 200 people have voted. Okay. And so we are on the third ballot paper. Okay. And I believe that will also go very fast. But as you can see, the line has tapered off. So they will come in drips and drafts now. In the morning when we came, there were about 100 people, 80 to 100 people here at the same time. So the process, there was a lot of people here then, but now they are just dropping in. And so I'm believing that by 4 or 5 o'clock, we could have all 456 expected voters turn out here to vote.
Very well. I'll come back to you shortly to find out if your opponents are comfortable with your presence here, because we are not supposed to be campaigning on election day, even though today is not December 7th. It is part of the process. Let me speak to, very briefly in 30 seconds, the rep for the NDC, Senator Rollins. You are the agent for Senator.
So we will join Enes Kojamenu and get the rest of that conversation.